I'm the heel of this stomp. I'm the tallest around here. So what I says is what goes. You knock, Father Behemat. Gorkamorka, Sigma. The Great Watering. Squattening of the Dwarden, Rakothian birth of the Seraphon, the Great Geist Feast. I've learnt all the stories from Mater. But I'm not built for sitting around and just telling stories. I've not stopped growing yet. I look down on you, and I'll not be under the heel of King Brod. I'll be Queen of the Gargants, and I'll war stomp if I want to. I'm the Mini Mad Cat, and welcome to the channel. This week, another showcase focusing on my most recently finished project. Click all the buttons, comment down below if there's anything you think of as you're watching, and enjoy the video. Imagine receiving this in the mail one day. You wake up to a faint knocking on the door. You're glad you did. You know it's what you've been waiting on for months. You've seen it take shape, and you've seen it being worked on, most of the time live on camera. It's been delayed, and regardless of the forewarning that it might have come with, you'd be starting to get a little impatient. But you trust the artist. You've given him work before, and he's pulled through with alarming precision. It's finally here. It's finally arrived. Concerns over UPS or the customs officer having had a bad day have been kept at bay. Safe in the knowledge that this time we went with a pick and pluck flight case, where no such excuses that could have been used in the past could be used this time. Which is good, because this really is an utterly unique, one-of-a-kind model. Queen Brood. Project courtesy of Motor City Ray, friend, Gargant enthusiast, and commissioner. I was tasked with sculpting face and chest augmentations to the King Brod model, and in doing so, create Queen Brood. Sculpting went well enough, and with previous paintwork in my favour, Ray decided to employ my painting services too. Queen Brood will stand at the centrepiece of his army as a king proxy. As she's a modification on the original GW plastic, she'll also be legal to use at any official tournaments. I've never done anything so complex as sculpting the face of such an important model. I'm very glad to experience my first face sculpt at 32mm scale with a giantess and not a normal size human model. I've done kit bashes and some sculpting in the past, with my second Beast of Nurgle made from the leftovers from the first coming to mind. I got a second kit, so planning on making a third and fourth from that in the future. If that's something you'd like to see, comment down below. Of course, the Astartes project forced my hand into the sculpting world, and it was a pauldron from that model that gave Ray cause to have me in mind for this job. I've watched loads of Bobby Fingers and North of the Border.
Hi folks, my name is Adam and I like to make tiny nerdy things, and I recently asked my patrons a very important question. Option 1.
And in preparation for this project, I watched many other sculpting tutorials here on YouTube. But nothing prepared me for the form of my first pass. The horror. The horror.
That's enough filming of this horror.
I started to shit my pants a little bit less on the second pass. It didn't fill me with confidence, but there was still plenty of space left to fill before we exceeded our dimensional remit, and the improvement between the first pass and this was encouraging if not entirely reassuring. Thankfully, the third pass did it. It looked okay. You might say it looked pretty good, even. I wasn't sure though, as I'd gone a bit blind to it. This is a phrase I started to use when I've looked at something too long, when I need to take a break and step away before I can figure out if it's done or if it needs more, or to see my mistake. She got pinned through both feet using one single paperclip, so she was effectively locked onto her base. I used cyanocrylate and bicarbonate of soda to form a solid and permanent bond between them. Priming her didn't make it any easier. It wasn't until I get to paint the face that I'd find out if I'd actually done okay, despite what everyone was telling me. Is this something anyone in the comments has experienced? We start with airbrushing a black acrylic polyurethane all over and under as an undercoat. Then we move to mid-tone grey from around the midpoint of the model and up to near white, shooting down directly from above. I then worked in the initial skin tones of the flesh using Vallejo's Royal Purple. Future past Mad Cat here to tell future present you that past Mad Cat was wrong, and actually, as we can see in this footage here, that it's obviously mahogany, not purple. There'll probably be other things that I end up misremembering and putting into the script. I'll just correct it on screen with a title. Okay, back. Vallejo's Royal Purple and Sunny Skin Tone to position simple, dark and light transitions and bring out some details. This combination of zenithal undercoat and a similar but more aggressive angle of application of the base skin colours, thinned down to the right level, helps to establish a good initial value scale. Once that was done, I moved on to the paintwork. The way the skin is finished is disgracefully easy. I'll cover this in a moment. I think it produced some wonderful results, as I often have done in the past, and I'm starting to think I should reverse. I started the brushwork at the feet, especially with such a big model like this. Once I'd gotten to the face, it's possible my concentration levels could drop. But the simple workup and my time painting female faces after studying under Pascal Roux led me through on this project, and I think she came out looking pretty for a monster Gargant. The finishing stages past the purple and skin tone airbrushing was simply to wash the areas with a thinned gum and flesh contrast paint to tie the two skin tones together, and then selectively highlight using Sunny Skin Tone. It's one of the simplest skin workups I've done before. I love it, and I'll probably use it a lot in the future. All of the footage I've managed to save and capture will in time be going on the Patreon, where you can see and ask me any questions at all about any techniques that we used. At the moment, I'm going through the backlog, starting with the Project Astartes footage. There's an unearthly amount of footage to get through, so those wishing to see all the process of this project will have to be patient. I'll try and remember to put a post up on YouTube when I start to, and also when I finish uploading them. If I'd had all the time in the world, I would have taken the paint job up a few notches and entered it into the Golden Demon competition in Europe coming up later this year. Who knows? With enough support, I could enter another one that I make in the same vein for myself and enter it in time, maybe? I'd like to have done lots of freehand banner work, created more value contrast, smooth out blends all over the place, and create increasing amounts of micro texturing. But each day would have had to have been paid for, and this is meant to be a gaming piece and not a competition entry. So I had to resist the usual urge to press onwards and upwards. Now she's all done. All that's left to do with her is pack her up, take payment, and ship it out, taking all the necessary precautions to ensure its safe arrival. That means a complete description of what it is on the customs form. This time, unlike the coaches, it'll list every material used, from the bicarb of soda and cyanocrylate to the two-part epoxy polymers, oven-baked clay, ABS plastic, air-dry clay, acrylic water-based paints and anything else I can think or fit in. And the UV resin of her accompanying retinue, the Signum Games Brownie Ray won in a livestream giveaway raffle. The case couldn't be more perfect. She can be thrown around in transit, probably quite safely, though I'm reluctant to do anything more than this myself. But before all that, I must film and photograph her for what seemed like an eternity, for you all, for this video, for Patreon, and for my records and portfolio. I'm proud of this one. Thanks, Ray. I'm the Mini Madcap. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, join the Patreon, comment down below, and until next time, question everything and have fun.